Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I am on the road. There's nothing to show you on video. Just concentrate on the audio today. Forgive me if the camera shakes. And again, just listen to the audio. I have absolutely nothing to show you. This video is good for maybe if you are driving right now. Well, you shouldn't be driving right now watching YouTube. I'm just saying, like, before you leave, like in the parking lot or something like that, you know, press the play button and then put it through your audio so that you can just put it on audio so that you could watch this. You can hear the video. Sorry guys, watch here. I'm confusing myself. So in today's video, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. The Security and Investigations Leadership Channel today has formally endorsed Donald Trump for president. I understand that like 30% of you, I think, we did the polls not too long ago. Go to the community section tab to look at the polls. There's like 69% or 70% vote. There are Kamala Harris supporters. Guys, I don't know if you could tell, but if you look at all the security channels, like all of them that you watch on a regular basis, are any of them endorsing Kamala Harris? Have any of them endorsed Biden? Have any of them endorsed liberal views? Like nobody. There's no channels out there, security channels that are doing this. And then some have chosen not to go political, right? That's perfectly fine. I totally am in agreement with those channels that don't want to go the route. But even those channels sway in a conservative manner, because let's face it, soft on crime control measures, basically the liberals, Democrats put forward. I'm just saying. So Security Investigation Leadership Channel is endorsing Donald Trump. I don't know if it makes a difference. We are one of the larger security channels, especially that are located in California. So I'm asking for you guys' endorsement to endorse Donald Trump for president. If you don't think he'll make a good president, I mean, out of all the ones that are there, I prefer Vance as the president, but you got to pick one, right? So I do endorse Trump. I respect you guys who endorse other people. If you endorse Kamala Harris for president or somebody from another party, please comment below that you do endorse them. But check this out: almost nobody will admit it if you vouch for Kamala Harris. Like, I'm proud to say that, but they're proud to vouch for Trump. So once again, Trump 2024 mail-in ballots came in. Make sure that you vote for Trump to make this country great again, because it's terrible under the current leadership. Okay, so let's now talk about CALSAGA. CALSAGA, they are the association, a lobbyist association in California that allegedly represents the private security industry. They absolutely do not. I said that during a live BSIS committee meeting, which is not available to the public. Like all these other meetings are available to the public. The committee hearing, for some reason, except that one. Go figure, right? If you're chiming in from like another state, let's just say like Rhode Island or New York, what CALSAGA does, what they support, what they endorse, has absolute bearing on how you function as a security company in your state. Because what I talked about in other videos, in my opinion, they are playing the puppet strings. Okay, CALSAGA, I'm sorry, on the top is Allied Universal and Securitas, the largest security companies, and they are pulling the puppet strings for CALSAGA. Under CALSAGA, which is the other, in my opinion, the puppets that are beneath the table, are these other security companies that represent the board of directors. Guys, so I decided to endorse the Security Investigation Leadership Channel myself has endorsed Scott Wagonseller from Gates Security for a CALSAGA board member. I prefer him to be the president of CALSAGA. Scott is fed up with the current state of affairs. He doesn't like what's going on. BSIS, okay, they did a botched investigation on that company. I am privy to some information that's not public, and I don't like what I see. BSIS did the same thing to me years ago, and they had people that were up there trying to paint me in a negative light. Like for 2 days, they were trying to like break me, said some disparaging things about my intelligence, and the judge even told the attorney for BSIS to not badger the witness. I know I understand completely what these shenanigans look like, especially when they're conducted through the BSIS. So they're right now they're clear to fully function as a security company in the Malibu areas and other areas. But I absolutely support them. I got a hold of one of the members of leadership for Citywide Protection Services. This is not a formal endorsement, but that Citywide Protection Services agreed to provide some funding to Gates Security, Scott Wagonseller, for his push for a CALSAGA board member. I encourage nobody to donate to nobody, not even Gates Security, and here's why. I want to that's a very generous offer. This is the reason. I want to make this a grassroots. Oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? Grassroots, right? Or we want to make this grassroots, right? We are up against very minimal $2 million because Allied Universal donates on a yearly basis. I calculated it. It's about like $2 million at the very minimum. See, you have to pay a yearly fee, and then you have to pay like per employee. Like they have a lot of employees, so they're pushing in a lot of money. And I think like 42% part of the I guess agreement with the members is like 42% goes to lobbying efforts. So if Allied Universal fees are like $2 million, and again, I'm speculating right now, but it's $2 million, 42% of that is a significant number that goes towards lobbying efforts. Do you think that those lobbying efforts are going to benefit you in the private security individual? Like watching this, those of you who are watching this video, you think it's going to benefit you? I think so. I absolutely do not think so. Okay. So they have all this money like in the world. They're a huge company. I want to be able to donate nothing towards any cause right now and see how far that we can get. So what I'm asking everybody to do is go to the community section tab and vote for whoever you think will best represent the private security industry. That could be Gates Security, Scott from Gates Security. That could be Black Knight Patrol, Manuel Jimenez. We have Allied Universal. We have Securitas. We have Guardian Force Protection. I think Ashley Cervantes. Make sure you guys vote, because I'll tell you this: those security companies who are CALSAGA members, right? They're going to look at the votes, and some CALSAGA leadership might say, Sean, your stupid ass channel doesn't mean anything, right? Okay, that's fine, but I tell you this: that people that will be attending your conference in the third week of October, which is coming up, make sure that you guys all attend. They might be asking you a lot of questions, and they're gonna be seeing who the security industry supports as a whole. I'll tell you this: that when Assembly Bill 1244, so these board members have been board members for a little bit, sometimes a long time or a while. Assembly Bill 2515 was passed under their leadership, right? I don't know what specific board members, some of them barely got promoted to that board member. AB 1244 became law. Well, who was leadership at CALSAGA? AB 229, who was board member leadership? If you remember today, remember this: if you're in California, if you're chiming for another state, keep in mind that what happens in California tends to have a trickle down, hand-me-down effect on your state. But if you are a security guard, security officer, and you carry a baton, like I got my baton permit in like 2000 or 2001 or 1999. I paid like $40 for the permit. I got it at La Puente Valley ROP. That permit never expired. I'm not saying like you shouldn't renew your training, but I'm just saying, oh, hey, thank you. Hey, thanks, Westwell, for the code. Thanks. I appreciate that. That donation. And no, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Very generous of you. So going back to what I was saying, all of a sudden, okay, the security guard who's making it happen on a day-to-day basis, the guy that puts his life on the line, has to pay $40 renewal fees for your baton permit. Whereas when AB 1244 was passed, I didn't see any fee structure for qualified managers. So now qualified managers need to have a license now that needs to be renewed every 2 years, and they should be paying a fee. But I didn't see anything in that bill that required a fee. What I did see was in AB 2515 fees for baton and AB 1244, I saw like it was like between 5 or 10% increases for firearm permit fees, guard card fees, right? Well, where is the increase in fees for qualified manager? The guy who's making, I don't know, over $100,000 a year. Like, how come he doesn't have a fee? Why does the person who makes like minimum wage has to pay that fee? Guys, treating us like the bottom scraps of society. And if you want to allow them to continue to get away with this crap, just continue to stay silent. Continue to stay silent. Some of our infringes, right, on our freedom to self-defense. Those freedoms were taken away with some of these assembly bills. At the end of the day, I want to ask you guys, who was the board of directors when all of these assembly bills were just getting signed away? And I'll tell you this, that like last year or 2 years ago, I promised to put an end to some of these assembly bills. I can't do it alone. It's hard for me without any budget, but I think we're starting to get a lot of attention with like no budget, guys. When I did the poll, it was like a survey petition to petition against Assembly Bill 1244. We generated like over, I think, $350. I haven't checked lately, but we may have like accumulated over $500. And that comes from people who work in the field, like security field. Yeah, some security companies donated, but it comes from the people that are making it happen on a day-to-day basis. Okay, you guys that are working private security right now in a patrol car, you're standing post, your back hurts, you're not making yourself rich. You're making the man on top rich. And that's not the Lord. That is the CEO. I'm just getting tired of this. And something else I want to bring up, actually brought it up, for Allied Universal, right? You have what's called a qualified manager, the person who's supposed to operate the business on a day-to-day basis, on a day-to-day affair, right? Well, the qualified manager received a citation from the BSIS for not reporting a use of force incident. The BSIS advised on his citation, okay? He advised on the citation that this is the sixth time, guys, the sixth time that BSIS has not reported a use of force incident. As a law enforcement officer, do you know what happens if I don't report a use of force incident? You know what happens? I get terminated. I could potentially get terminated. And if I lie about it, I can get prosecuted. What happens with Allied Universal? A slap on the wrist. They got a fine, and they were ordered, okay? They were ordered by the judge, it was a judge or the director of the Department of Consumer Affairs. They were ordered by the judge not to cease and desist their operations as a security company 6 times. They were ordered to report the incident next time. Like, what the hell kind of an incident? What the hell kind of order is that? What kind of a court order orders somebody to follow the law next time? That's not a court order. I'm telling you guys, I'm sick and tired of this. Gate Security is sick and tired of this crap. The reason why I want you guys to endorse, sorry, Scott Wagonseller, is because he's more approachable. So when all this shenanigans were going down with AB 1244, I reached out to the board members of CALSAGA. You want to know who returned my call? Who was open to having a conversation with me? The president of CALSAGA, David Chandler. He's the only one that reached out to me. And basically all of these board members were doing this. Like, oh, Sean is reaching out to me. Sean's reaching out to me. Let's get a hold of our CALSAGA president to represent us. Like, whatever happened to this, okay? Whatever happened to this? Hey, look, I'm endorsing Assembly Bill 1244, and here's why. Look, actually, I reached me and the vice president for Citywide Protection Services. We have a really good rapport with each other. He told me why he supports or would support Assembly Bill 1244. Like, he told me directly in my face. And that's all I'm looking for is transparency. And I said, you know what, that makes sense. You know, it makes sense on what you're saying. I still respectfully disagree, but it makes sense on your perspective. He had the fortitude to at least tell me in person. All these other people won't do that. I think Security made a comment, something to the effect they support AB 1244, right? That is awesome. I respect that security company owner for doing that, right? At least they're willing to open up that dialogue. I highly disagree, but at least we're able to open dialogue. Now, the cool thing about Gate Security is if he gets elected and there's some issues going on in the security field, security profession, especially in California, I can reach out to Scott, and he's approachable, right? And I could say, hey, look, what you're doing is why are you voting for this? Or why are you not saying anything against this issue that's pressing private security? And he can explain his perspective, and I can explain our perspective. But at least the door is open to communication. All these other security companies have shut the door on me. Some security companies have blocked me. They blocked me, and I give it to Black Knight Patrol. They at least didn't block me on Instagram. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to do it pretty soon. But at least they're keeping, I guess, restraint. I don't know what you call it. All right, guys. So please go to my community section tab and vote to who you want CALSAGA as a CALSAGA board member. I don't care what state you're in, just vote. Because Allied Universal, the big giants, and all the other security companies are going to also see that. I will leave an email for Scott or Gate Security in the description box once I have some time. Again, feel free to donate. I'm not saying don't donate. Well, actually, I'm just saying it'd be nice to I guess push forward the the most in private security with no funding, right? Is it doable? I would argue yes. I mean, that means more than anything, right? If you own a security company and you're willing to endorse Gate Security, let me know. But only one security company has stepped up to the plate, and that's Citywide Protection Services. That's it. So I don't care what security company you work for. If you want to endorse Gate Security like I'm endorsing, then let me know, and then we can make it public too. All right, guys. Mike is here. Welcome, Mike. Doug is here. 401 says, stay safe. I heard there's a hurricane. Yeah, geez, in Florida. Hopefully you guys are okay. Randy Nunez, I will always vote Dem to support social programs. And look, that's like, at least he's like telling us like what he supports. He's not hiding behind a name. And you know, me and Randy had some conversations on that, like why he would vote Democrat. But at least he has an explanation, right? But guys, feel free to disagree. I disagree with some of the things that he vouches for, but hey, I mean, I agree. Well, I don't agree with Randy saying he votes to support social programs, but I agree for his stance on things. Like he's willing to argue a point forward. No, I'm not driving away from any hurricane, not in danger, but thank you. Westwell says any of us would make a good BSI as agent. Slender says next video, Sean jumps. Let me know. Westwell says 2 million probably covers CalSaga's basic needs. Yep. Slender says 2 million that likely comes out of Cali citizens' pockets. I don't think it comes out of Cal citizens' pockets. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. David Kent says everybody subscribe to his channel, please. Thanks, David. Thank you once again, Westwell, for the code 7. Westwell says company should cover baton fees. Agreed. P. Vacro says the world needs Jesus and America needs Donald Trump. Yep. I agree. Again, there's no security channels out there that are like advocating for Kamala Harris. Slender says, I'm not doing much security anymore. I'm going back to the ambulance starting the 21st. But in my time in security, I've seen and agree with everything Sean is saying. Report. Westwell says security officers should send use of force report copy directly to BSIS to make sure they get the info and in case there's any difference in the report. Yep, I agree. Thanks for doing us justice here, Mike from the Professional Security Journal. All right, guys. So, oh my goodness, I better start heading out because I'm gonna hit traffic. It's Friday night. But look, hey, I want to talk about logos, titles, and back of a carrier. So I had an anonymous person send me some photos of a Las Vegas-based company. And I think the owner's prior military. Actually, I think he's current military. And the officers look pretty damn sharp, like their uniform. But why is there's so in the back it says like the name of the security company, and then it says CEO, and then it'll say like operations director on the back. The one that got me like confused was the guy that has CEO on the back, like chief executive officer, but he's wearing captain bars. I mean, look, man, it's your company. You can put whatever insignia you want, but just in case no one noticed, like if you want to put insignia, the proper insignia for a CEO, I mean, if you're an operational CEO, right? It's the stars, right? I think it's 4 stars is the norm. It just doesn't make any sense if you're the CEO and then you got captain bars. But it's your company. If you want to roll with sergeant stripes and be in charge of the company, but you really can't promote somebody to sergeant if you wear the stripes, right? You can't really promote them to sergeant if you have sergeant stripes yourself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Once again, it's your security company. You do whatever you want. But I'm going to talk about in terms of liability. It just looks weird to me. But if I am a troublemaker and I see a security guard or security officer rolling up to me and engaging in some type of confrontation, or maybe, right, I might just try to incur liability because now I have the CEO of the security company. So here's the difference. If you are a member of the line staff, right? If you exceed your authority, if you break company policy, the security company owner, the ownership or the leadership can argue on the scope of your employment. What you did was no benefit to the employer, and you are on your own with legal fees, right? So it's kind of like you work in a security company, you're dating this girl, and then somebody like steals your girlfriend away from you or your wife, and then you with your security uniform and security patrol car go off route, like you go to another county that there's no contracts, you enter a property where you have no contract, and then you blast Sancho. The security company's gonna say, hey, wait, that's beyond the scope of employment. Like, we're not obligated to cover his defense fees or any fees. And that person is individually liable and just by himself. If you are CEO and you create the liability, I was following company policy, or I was. It doesn't matter, because when you take some type of formal action, you are creating brand new company policy, even if it's your own company. Okay? And also, what control mechanism is there? So if you are you're a member of line staff, let's just say you're a corporal, right? Sometimes you're a lead, and then there's like a sergeant, and then you get out of hand a little bit, like you're about to get confrontational with somebody who's committing just minor trespass, and like, I don't know, you're threatening them with like a firearm or something like that, or I don't know, or a taser when they're like complying and leaving or something like that. That supervisor is under the legal theory of respondent superior. That supervisor is responsible for you. Like, you're, hey dude, calm down. Well, I hate to use the word calm down, but hey, I got this. You're good. Just wait over there, and now I will take care of this 100%. I got it. Don't worry about it, partner. That's it. But when you're the when you own the security company, who's telling you that enough is enough? Think about it. And you might be saying, well, I have control over my emotions all the time. I would say first off, I don't think that you've been in a lot of critical incidents, like something where your life was in danger, where you almost died or somebody got killed, because your emotions, depending on on your personality and your experiences, training, you might get emotional about the situation, and you may have never even expected that. So I think for CEOs to go out there and like engage in on properties, you probably don't want to do that. The same reason why a lot of police commanders, like usually lieutenant and above, that's usually why they're in the office, or their goal is just to supervise, or the objective is to supervise the patrol sergeant or the watch commander, right? They usually are not going over there hooking and booking people, pulling them over. What I've seen is like a lieutenant will pull somebody over, call the sergeant. Sergeant's like, screw that, I'm not going to take this dude for DUI, and then call the lowest ranking person on the shift. Hey, can you take this DUI? Lieutenant's kissing this person off to you. No, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. But in law enforcement, that's what happens, okay? Now, you might be saying, Sean, I'm a hands-on security company owner. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Maybe you don't have the manpower. That when you are, you're working beyond your means, or your actions are beyond what's appropriate, there's no control mechanism in place, and also you create brand new policy and practice. I wouldn't do that. Some of you are like deputy directors or something like that. Again, you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful with going hands-on with people, and handling these situations. If at all possible, okay, have your line officer handle the incident as much as they can. and you can serve as like backup, but I would not be the first person to initiate contact. Let them do it. And then plus, let them get that experience. Working security, I used to always get so frustrated when you have like a director of security or up handling an incident for me. Like, let me get the experience that you have. Share the experience. Allow me to have that time when I can develop myself. But you're kind of stealing my growth when you're handling the incident for me. So guys, that's all I got. It is Friday. Please go to the community section tab and vote for whoever you want to for CALSAGA leadership. If you're chiming in for another state, pick somebody. Pick somebody, because I'm telling you, if you're not, if somebody who has not have a proven track record for helping us in security, like Californians, if they get the CALSAGA board of director leadership position, a lot of these decisions that they make with like supporting some of these laws, it's gonna have an effect on you. California is like the battleground for security. A lot of security companies, they earn all the capital, the revenue from California, and then they go to other states like Idaho, Florida, and elsewhere. Yeah, sometimes they start in like New York, Florida, and then they come to California. But many times, the breeding ground for security, it starts in California. My buddy Mike from the Professional Security Journal, he's on top of all this. He tells me that Allied Universal has a seat at the PILB, the Private Investigator Licensing Board, which governs the private security industry. They are a board member of that. So they're not just in California, they're over there. So that's all I got, guys. I'm about to hit some traffic and I can't look at my screen. I am looking forward to the dialogue, healthy dialogue, and all the comments. Again, if you guys support Kamala Harris, I still love you guys. You guys are still my subscribers, and I think as long as we can respect each other's opinion, then we can be good friends, if not best friends.